Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Inspiring Women Professional Who Boss Up authors book launch. Very excited to be here with these brilliant women. And before we officially kick off, I want to bring up Tam, the mastermind behind the book series of Women Who Boss Up.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Oh my goodness. I was actually already switched into my workout clothes. I'm about to get out into this beautiful Las Vegas chill, and but I'm excited to be here with everyone. First of all, just a little bit of context, and I won't take a whole bunch of time, but Women Who Boss Up, it really started from my own experience and realizing that the ups and downs that I went through were not new. There was a lot of other women out here who had amazing stories of bossing up in their life, and I was right. 200 authors later, 12 books. We're working on the 12th book now, and all these amazing ladies that you see, inspiring women professionals, they're they're amazing. They're inspiring. And I'm just so excited to be here with them all. And I'm excited for everyone to really see that if they can boss up, so can you.
Thank you, Tam, for your inspiration. And with that, I would love to just jump in. Thank you all for being here. We're very excited. The book launched back in December, and I know the paperback edition is going to come out pretty soon. But in the meantime, you guys could definitely check out and purchase the Kindle version on Amazon. But I would love to start with Gail. And if each of you, I'm just going to go one by one. Each of you can do a self introduction and just a quick background about yourself and your experience and why you decided to, yeah, just those two for now. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Gail Mariel. I'm a project manager, award-winning motivational speaker, author, and coach. I started my business last year, Success Redefined, and I help inspire and empower women who lost confidence or feel unworthy from self-doubt and failure to regain their self-esteem through self-discovery and overcoming imposter syndrome so they can realize their value, take controllable action, and really redefine their success. I wanted to be part of something bigger than myself and really make an impact to women. And inspiring women professionals was the key for me to bring out that word and really make an impact. So I am so happy that I was part of this project with all of you amazing women.
Wonderful. Okay, next I'll go to Christina. Or Christine, sorry.
Oh, hi, no problem. I'm Christine Santori, and I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur. I started out as a special needs mom and was out of the corporate America for a very long time. And my son is now 24. He's still with me. And I own two companies. One of them is hyperlocal. It's a welcome business. And I own another franchise in 5 towns for which I do an advertising calendar. But my first love and what spun everything off was being in the beauty business. So I work with skincare and professional makeup, and it's one-on-one business. And actually, all of my business have a big social element to it. So what I do is a connector, and that's how I help people. I help businesses connect with customers, customers connect with customers, neighbors connect with their new towns, and that's basically it.
Wonderful. Okay, let's go to Yolanda.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yo Taylor. I am the CEO and founder of At the Style Table. I'm a wardrobe strategist, and I call myself a strategist instead of a stylist because when you're over 40, it gets to be you need like a strategy to get dressed because your body tells you what you're going to wear, less of your mind. So I help women get dressed for success. I help women remember that you're still beautiful, you can still wear fabulous clothes, and that you need to look good right now. You don't need to wait. And the size and those dresses and those clothes, those are just imposters. We're not going to look at those numbers. They mean nothing. It's more important for you to look beautiful and feel good in the clothes and they fit well. And that's what I focus on. And I focus on empowering and inspiring women. I am a co-author, and now a speaker. I also have host my show, My Style Mondays, where I talk with wonderful women like yourselves. We talk about their businesses, their careers, their passions, their dreams, and we talk about how they've overcome all kinds of obstacles to and their style journey with that. And the stories are so inspiring, and I'm so honored to be a part of this book.
Thank you, Yo. Let's go to Wen.
Hi, so I'm the founder and the CTO at When Coaching, and I say that because I actually have 15 plus years of experience in the tech industry and been dreaming one day I'll become a CTO technology. But now I'm the Chief Transformation Officer at When Coaching. After working so long in the corporate world and literally like being fired, well, laid off out of my job, I think a lot about like the constraints that I face along my career journey and how I feel like I need to like work really hard and hustle. And I just didn't feel like doing that anymore. So I leveraged that opportunity to become my own boss. So I would say I'm a accidental entrepreneur, and now working with myself, really to help me get into more and more like abundant type of state. So I'm helping immigrants and aspiring women leaders to dream and design and reach their own definition of success in their career and life. So I'm also very fortunate to be in this book with you all to learn how women can all boss up and become our own boss to design our own life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then we'll go to Karen.
Hi, last but not least. Hi, I'm Karen Rubenstein. I am an alcoholic in recovery for almost 3 years now. And I have an LLC called Recover Loudly because that's my philosophy and that's what I do. And that we do business. Well, I say we because my husband is helping me out part-time. How Now Coffee and Community House. House stands for Honest, Open, and Willing, which is the foundation of my sobriety. So when I got out of rehab, how it all happened. When I got out of rehab like 3 years ago, there really are not too many places for former alcoholics or addicts to hang out. And really get together and talk. And so my husband and I, we were going to do a halfway house, but we decided not to because it gets pretty serious. But I took aspects of what I wanted to do with the recovery house, which was like have food, have good coffee, in the evenings, have yoga, meditation, business networking, all things to bring people together. A lot of people getting out of rehab have not great backgrounds with the law, so it is a little difficult. So we would hire people in halfway houses, things like that. And along with that, I should have put entrepreneur because I was a journalism major in college, and I'm finally been working on a memoir specifically about my time in rehab because it was a world that very few get to experience. I actually, at this point, I didn't consider myself fortunate, but now I do. Is a real blessing. So I'm doing writing, and I'm going to be starting speaking outside of the 12-step program meetings. And I'm also meeting some screenwriters from Netflix in a couple of weeks because I have a great idea for my time in rehab. So I'm going to be pitching a story. So yay.
That's amazing. So maybe we'll see her story come to life.
That would be really cool.
Right? That's so awesome. All right. And a little bit about myself. I'm Amanda Mon, the CEO and founder of Innovate Marketing Group. So our agency had the pleasure of putting this on today to really just help all the brilliant women here shine and let more people know the behind the scenes stories and what their book is about. And I am very honored because I own a truly incredible award-winning event management agency based in Los Angeles, but we do events all over nationally and internationally. And it's just really incredible because we focus on corporate events and community events. But more than that, it's about the experience, how we continue to elevate that event experience. And I'm also a mom, entrepreneur, as well as a community leader. And yeah, just very excited to be in the presence of, really, really bright women that are here today. And I think we're going to dive in now a little bit about the book. So, I'm going to ask a few of them why you decided to kind of put the story down. I think that's for some of us, that's definitely out of our comfort zone. And I also heard from some of the women say, hey, when you put it down on paper, now it's for real. Like you're really, making that a fact, and that you can't just like retract these books, right? Because you could delete a video, you could delete a post, but when it's in a book, it's very different. So let's see. I'll go with Wen this time. If you want to go first, why you decided to be part of this Woman Who Boss Up book?
Thank you. I think it's direct, contrary to how I was brought up culturally, to be quiet, right? To always keep my head down and just work hard. As I started to grow my coaching business, I realized that to be visible is actually the first step for me to create miracles. So I know how important it is to bring me and my story to be in front of people so that they know me, and not only know me, also know that, they can do the same. I'm the believer that, when we elevate ourselves, we elevate everyone around us. And that's like, what I want for myself. And that's what I want for, people I care about. So when this book deal came about, I kind of doubted myself. I'm like, am I, author secretly I want to be? But I kind of like doubted myself. But luckily, I think, the universe has its way, responding to me. And I got contacted, speaking to like Sheena, and I really feel connected, especially where, people like me, I always feel like I'm the minority. I am a lesbian woman, Taiwanese. In many, many areas, I always feel like the I don't know, like kind of like unsafe, right, to be seen. But on the other hand, the fear there of wanting to hide also comes with strong desire of wanting to be seen, because I know what I'm going to do, it's amazing, and I want people to see that. And that's what really like pull me out of my doubt, and just basically do what I can and show up as me, and be on this book journey with you all. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I love that. I think that takes a lot of courage, because it is definitely not easy to step out of your comfort zone. But that's why you are a woman who boss up, right? That's why we're all here, because we step out of comfort zone, and doing it together is that much easier, I have to say, versus ourselves. So I'm glad I'm surrounded by intelligent and just awesome people. Let's go, Karen. Why did you decide to participate in this collaboration book?
Yeah, well, it just was happenstance. I'm a member of BIG, which is Believe, Inspire, Grow, the women's business group. And Tam was on her book tour, and I knew a couple of friends from BIG that were in the prior book. So I went, and afterward I was talking with Tam, and I was telling her my story, and she's like, oh my God, well, how, oh my God, do you want to be in a book? And I'm like, yeah, okay. So, and I talked to the other women that had been in books, and they were like, oh, it's life-changing, it's so great. And I was like, oh, that sounds really nice. So she really wanted me, like the background, like I told you, I was in recovery, or I am in recovery, but I was in rehab. But the whole thing about the Recover Loudly, I really wanted, that's my philosophy, because I feel like there's still a shame and a stigma about addiction, alcoholism, and recovery. There's a lot of misinformation. I'm very proud of my recovery. And when I was actively drinking, I was a very quiet drunk. I drank at home, and my life had shrunk down to the size of a bottle. So I was isolated and in the dark. So, and with a lot of secrets. So now I'm out in recovery and I'm like, secrets make me sick. And so no more secrets. I'm very proud. It doesn't have to be like the first thing I say. I do it at meetings, but yeah. So with the coffee house, I really want to have people like have information available for the general public because we're going to have good coffee. We already do, and like a nice atmosphere that's comfortable for the community to come in. And to tell you the truth, there's so many people that are in addiction, and a lot of people know of somebody, so they can come and maybe we'll have a little library for loaning books. They can find out more. I can help them with getting help. I know like so many rehabs and owners of recovery houses, so a place of like information and help, and a safe place for people to relax and enjoy, especially after hours, specifically for people in recovery. So that's why I wanted to be in the book. I'm like, okay, that this would be nice to tell my story. So that's it.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Gail? What inspired you to be part of this?
Well, I have over 25 years of corporate experience. As I mentioned in my intro, I am a project manager, and there are so many challenges that I went through, so many that I had imposter syndrome like you wouldn't believe. And it was so hard for me to get back up. And each time I get back up, I experience another situation that was challenging for me to get through. So each time I get through challenges, I ask myself, why? Why me? And then I realized that I was here for a reason. And just like when cultural differences or cultural stigma states that we need to stay quiet about what we're feeling. But I finally found my voice. And even in the corporate world, sometimes you want to speak up, but it's hard because you want to do it politically correctly, but make sure that your voice is heard. And going through these challenges and being able to rise up to the occasion just really helped me get through all that. And I know a lot of women, especially Asian women in the corporate world, are experiencing this type of, of imposter syndrome. And I wanted to have my voice heard. And I know vulnerability was, showing my vulnerability was out of my comfort zone, but it really helped me get the message that we can still overcome our imposter syndrome. We can still succeed with highlighting our strengths. And when the opportunity came to me to be a part of this book project, I finally found the answer. And that was how I found my voice. And I love speaking. And I know part of the book deal was speaking opportunities. And I thought that this was the best way to really get my message to all those that may have an impact too. So thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Yolanda?
Hi. The reason why I decided to go ahead and do this, piggybacking off what Gail said, I was a flight attendant for 31 years, an international flight attendant. And I also was styling women for years and just doing it. But I always lived in this imposter syndrome thinking that, I'm not, that person. This is not me, but it's always something I had a passion about. So I jumped in and started my business. But again, just fighting that imposter syndrome because your identity is one thing and then you jump off into something that is very natural to me. And I love it and I do it and I enjoy working with women. I love seeing how women transform themselves and are inspired. And they actually, clothes do make the difference sometimes. They really do. If you see yourself, it's amazing when someone sees themselves differently. Like they know that they're this powerful person. Women are powerful. We do all kinds of things, but you can easily forget yourself. And so to see women put on I call it the cloak of happiness. When they look in the mirror and they see, wow, I look good. And they walk in a room and all of that energy that positive energy gives it back to the room and the people are attracted to them. That's why I do this. And I went ahead and got in the book because I'm usually the girlfriend in the closet. I'm the girlfriend everybody called. What should I wear? Should I do this? Should I do that? So now the girlfriend has to come out and step out of the closet and into the light. And so I had to get over my imposter syndrome and realize I belong in the light too. And the book is helping me get out there. I'm doing all kinds of things that, and I'm way out of my comfort zone, doing so many things, and I'm just so happy to be a part of this. This is so inspiring. It really is. I mean, it's not, it's more than just the name of the book. It really is for me personally.
Thank you for sharing. Christine? Oh, you're on mute.
Okay, the host muted me, I think. Sorry. So trying to follow up all you guys, it's very difficult. I like going first, not last. I could piggyback off of what y'all were saying, certainly about the things that I do. But to answer the initial question of why I decided to do the book, I'm also part of Believe, Inspire, Grow, but I'm here in the East Coast. And Tam was in one of her trips. I think Tam was going to New Jersey. I think that's like her main hub. But anyway, she ended up in Connecticut, and I'm the leader here in Connecticut of our Believe, Inspire, Grow empowerment group. And mostly it's women professionals. And I would say they range from like 20 to 70, but the middle is around 40, 50. I think all the women, you raise babies, whether they are special needs or not, you get to a certain point where they're all independent. They go off to school, and then you're like, what's the next chapter of my life? And so I know we commonly refer to midlife being 50, although if you think about that, then we would all be living to 100. So I think it's more like in our 35, maybe something like that. And it's like, what do I do with the rest of my life? And those kind of moments. So being a special needs mom and exhausted from everything that involves doing, and having this opportunity of hearing Tam speak about the book tour, I was just like, wow, I really do have a story, because I feel like I'm on that road less traveled. And if I can tell my story to people and they get some sort of inspiration from it, basically the story is, you can really do anything and you can choose to be happy. I said, then I want to be a part of that book. I want to go on tour. I want to learn how to be a speaker. I don't know who said it, but before we got on camera, I think someone said, I'm not a speaker, but I'm a talker. And all my 3 jobs are talking. I'm a talker with the community. I'm a talker with the new people who come in. I talk at the big groups, and then I talk doing the beauty business. I have to skincare consult and makeup consult and a lot of things that Yo was saying, help these women look their best and really feel their best, which is honestly much more important than how you feel the person looks. It's how it makes them feel. They're like glowing inside. And I'm like, if I can do this, anybody can do this. If people talk about they have no time or, this or that, I'm like, I've been there. I have done all that. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. And if I can choose not to hide under the blanket every morning and be, oh, poor me, and be very sad, and, my situation will never change. There's no cure for what's going on. I will die before my child dies. I have to leave the earth and not know what's going to happen to him and who's going to take care of him. All these things can put you down. But if I can come out and not be down and I can still be positive, then I know I can share that and make everybody else realize that they can too.
All right. If anybody that's tuning in right now, if you have not read the book, right, especially after you heard these 5 amazing people talk about their journey and what they're sharing, you should buy it now. It's just so inspiring. I mean, I already know what's the book is about, and I'm just already inspired being part of this. And I got into it because I happened to know another author who was part of the earlier collection, and she said, you should share your story on here. I say, I don't know, like, I thought everybody pivoted during COVID, right? I'm in the event management business. And obviously when you're shut down by the government, you can't have events. We literally went from a thriving multi-million business to 0 all just within a few hours. And it was so scary. But my story was really highlighting how we pivot and the mindset and then getting your team together, because you can't do it alone. But the biggest part is mindset, because I can literally just be like, I'm going to retire. This is my time. I've been doing events for 20 years. It's time to call it a day and just relax, right? Go on the cruise. But it was also a very defining moment that I realized, you know what? I love events. I want to see this work. And I also realized I have an amazing team that I'm in charge of and I need to take care of. So it's about pivoting and reframing and adapting to the new environment. So to kind of sum it all up, when you read the book, you can see how, all that went down. But we came out very bright. We ended up doing over 250 virtual events. So not only did my company not close, we actually thrived, because now we have a new line of business that we never even thought of before, because we were just so good at doing live events, right? Who wants to do a virtual event when you can meet in person? But I also think that's just how humans are so courageous, and crisis create opportunity. In the moment of truth, it comes out, right? And all of us here is exactly that, because we step out of our comfort zone. We took a chance on ourselves, but also now we're hoping to leverage our story to inspire even more people to do the same for themselves. Awesome. So we're going to go into some roundtable. I really want to make sure we kind of share behind the scenes why we all got into the book. Okay, this time I'm going to start with Karen. Do you think being a woman in business is more challenging?
Well, it's funny. Maybe it's because I was brought up in a house of 4 sisters and a mother who worked. So, and my father was very supportive of my mother. Whatever she did was golden, and they pushed us for college. And, I just always thought, I'll be working. And actually in the beginning I was working in advertising. Then I was a designer in New York. And I always worked around very supportive women. So I really, but, I don't know. I'll say one thing, actually. As I get older, I remember a few years, like 4 years ago, somebody in this office I was working at, I was doing sales, and he goes, "Oh, I think you're too old for sales." So actually the one thing I've gotten is ageism. But again, what I'm going to tell you is its attitude, because I have a friend who's a few years older than me, and I know another woman. My friend has this attitude of like, nothing stops her. And I feel like I always have that attitude. Nothing stops me. It's all an attitude. Find support, find people that are in your corner, and don't let men stop you, really. So.
Awesome. How about you, Gail? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, there are several aspects to that, actually, because I think, to me, it's great being a woman in business, because we are becoming, as a society, as women's society, we're becoming more assertive and more visible. And there are so many initiatives to bring highlights to women. I think there is still the stigma of, if a woman wants to be aggressive or assertive, there are certain adjectives that may come about versus a man. If we're looking for sales, sometimes if a man is trying to be more assertive and getting that sales done, they're being proactive, whereas a woman, it may be seen as they are too aggressive and they should hold back. So I think some of the areas of discrimination or some type of areas that women are thought of may come out, and I've seen that already. But I think as we move forward as a women's society, and we have a great group of tribe behind us, and as my experience in this book has been so exciting, I have found so much support in the tribe of women who boss up. And I think that will help us become more strong. And as a woman in business, will become stronger with that support.
Thank you. Just yesterday, I heard a woman professional say, you know what? I had to work twice as hard as my male counterpart. She felt like when they clock out at 6, she needs to stay till 8 so that she could present herself in a different way. And it was very disappointing to hear that, right? Like, why is that the stigma out there? But at the same time, I always tell, the younger generation, like, embrace the fact that we're women, right? Yolanda, you'll appreciate this. I would say, wear the skirt. It doesn't matter. Like the bright, and I love wearing bright colors. I love being like that pink lady that's in the house, right? Just embrace who you are, because I think it's wonderful that we're women. We have so many more color choices and we do fabulous things, wear fabulous shoes, right? Not to say the men can do that, because I'm in events. It's a lot of the men here dress better than we do. But, I think it's just coming back to embracing yourself. So thank you so much. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Gail. All right, next question. What advice would you give? What is something you know now that you wish you knew sooner? Christine and then Yolanda.
Okay, microphone is on. What do I know now that I wish I knew sooner? I guess I can only answer that with my strength. I think someone alluded to it before when they said about getting knocked down, but how I use it in my house is that it doesn't matter how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up. So whatever you face, look, you're still here. You got through it all. It's 56 years. I got through everything, and I will tomorrow. So just knowing the strength. And I tell my son all the time, because he does have physical disabilities as well. And there are certain times in his life, especially where he does a lot of falling. And we always talk about it. I'm like, okay, what do you do when you fall down? And he looks at me, get up. I was like, yeah, get up. It's like, no one's going to save you. You're going to get up. So I feel like I'm strong. And I don't think I knew that about myself until having him and seeing, like, these last 15 years have been the most empowering that I've had, is considered compared to the rest of them. So that's it.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Yolanda?
Real quick, a couple things. First thing I learned, I wish I would have known, even like when I first started my blog, style blog, is don't let the perfect impede the progress. I've spent so much time beating myself up. It's not perfect. It's not, oh, what if I mess up? Now I'm just doing it. And people will either love it or hate it, but I'm going to do the best that I can. And I'm just going to keep going until the more I do it, the better I'll get at it. And so that's also what I've learned. And I've also learned the whole ageism thing. I love fashion. I always have. I thought, okay, now that I'm reinventing myself, because I started this business over 50. I'm going to be 57 in March. And so age is just a number. Just go do it. Just go do it. And I'm excited I did it. You can reinvent yourself. There's still, I think I'm gonna live till I'm 50. 100. I'm going for it. And I'm going to look good all the way. I'm not going out like a punk. I will be looking good all the way to the end. So yes, that's the thing I learned. Don't let age stop you. Don't let the perfect impede your progress.
I love that. And my quick little tip one is take action. There's so many people that want to do something or be an entrepreneur or take that lesson or jump off an airplane or hot air balloon ride, right? They just talk about it. They don't take action. And my motto is just give it a try. Take that leap of faith. Sometimes you will fall, but I always say fail forward, right? Learn from your mistake and just keep going. So, all right. Thank you for all the words of wisdom. So we're going to go to another question. Have you ever felt like quitting? Because, things are just perfect all the time, right? Have you ever felt like quitting, and how did you kind of overcome that? So we'll go to you, Wen, for that question.
Yes. Oh my God. Have I ever feel like quitting? When I first begin my business, probably like every other month. Like, did I make the right choice? I think like in the especially the initial phase of the business, there are a lot of trial and error, ups and downs, and of course like in the downturn, especially right when the money isn't like coming in as steadily as before, it's very easy to react, right? And also wonder, oh, like, am I, spending my time in the right place? What did I do right or wrong? Things like that. And it's very easy also to be swayed by like what other people tell you like you should do, right? And it took me a while to really almost like focus on myself, especially like in my own business, how I truly show up and what I can bring to the table, right? If like in this sense, I almost feel like I'm my best customer. And once I figure that out, I'm like, okay, like what do I want to be leading my business instead, right? So I'm thinking about like people like me, right? I'm thinking about like following my love for adventure, for growth, for expansion, other than the fears of like unknown, haven't done anything before, things like that. And that shift in my mindset and focus really greatly shifted how I grow my business. And once I start doing that, things start to be much more fun and easy for me. And I don't really think about, haven't think about quitting for a while now, which is a good sign. But I know it will come, just like flow of life. But I'm ready to learn, what I needed to learn at that point. Yeah.
I
Thank you.
love it. And if you're thinking about quitting, just call any of us, right? And we'll let you know you're doing just great. All right, Karen, same question for you.
I was thinking about it. I was in a business for years. That quitting, you left one job after another in this industry in order to advance. So for me, quitting didn't really have a bad connotation. And every time I've ever changed, rather than call it quit, I'll call it change direction. I've continued like growing with each new step. If you want to think about, I did quit for about 15 years when I was drinking. Now that wasn't good, but on the same note, I have learned more. That was like that was so low that the only way I could go was up. And once again, that ended up being one of the most significant part of my life, that I have learned and grown so much in the past 3 years that I'm in such a better, like they always say like, oh, I'm back to the way I was. Well, I'm back to a better version of what I was. So quitting to me is growth, just changes that you grow from.
I love that. We always say here at our agency, like when you feel like yourself stretched, that's because you're growing, right? And if you're not feeling stretched, you're not growing because you're just very comfortable. So it's not always a bad thing. You just don't want to be stretched all the time because you'll be stretched out.
No, like a rubber band, yeah.
Yes, awesome. Let's see. Thank you. This is I'm loving everything that I'm hearing. You guys are all such an inspiration, and I think these are the story that people that are tuning in today will want to hear. And if anybody in the audience, you have a question for the author, feel free to put it in the chat. We'll ask them. Let's see. Next question, Yolanda. So now that you accomplished this book, what's next on your agenda?
Well, my main goal is to do more speaking and sharing with women that you're beautiful just right where you are. And I think that you can't wait on the perfect weight or the perfect this or the perfect that. Go out there and find something, put something on that makes you feel beautiful. Ignore the number, ignore anybody else. You just make sure that you feel good in your clothes and look good in your clothes at the size you are right now. You are beautiful, you are special, and you deserve to be put first sometimes too. Yeah. So, and that's the speaker thing with the book is that I'm so glad I'm doing this. And maybe a clothing line, maybe that was that was my pivot during COVID. So I had gotten to the point where I'm either going to start a sustainable clothing line or I'm going to continue on with the styling. So um, I think I can do both. And why not? I'm just going to.
Yes, you totally can. You're gonna have a clothing line. Karen's gonna be on the Netflix show. I think all around it's just gonna be unstoppable next year when we kind of have our reunion, right? You never know where it's gonna go. How about you, Christine? What's next on your plate?
I am looking forward to the book tour. I have traveled a lot for like vacation, and I've taken my daughter around the world in Europe, and none of it was, it was like sightseeing and taking pictures. I've not done anything like super professional. I've attended a lot of conferences. I've never like done the speaking or anything. So I'm super nervous. And that's why I know it's something that I should do. Like you said, if I'm comfortable, I'm not growing. So I will probably be perspiring like a man and have butterflies in my stomach and actually dying inside. But I want to be able to get on that stage and talk. I remember one experience I had back in college. I went to NYU and I went to the business school. And it's funny also, I remember who was talking about being minority. One of you guys were speaking about being the minority. And I know this is going to sound very silly, but at the business school, I was the only white girl. It was all Asian women. Okay, so I'm at NYU. I'm the only white girl there, and it comes time to present, and I'm standing up there, and I'm sweating, and I'm nervous, and I'm cackling over my words. I had prepared this whole thing to give to front of the class. I could not even speak in front of 30 peers, my own age, going through the same exact thing. I couldn't do it. I was terrified, and I said, this is going to be different now because I'm a different person now. I'm a grown up now and I can do it. And I also took a couple of acting classes in New York. So that really helped because once I told somebody what I did, they're like, oh my God, just dive into a character. Like, think of what Erica Kane on All My Children would do. Like, just become that person and you'll be able to speak. And I was like, oh, I never thought of that. And it made so much sense. So yeah, I want to do the book tour. That's really what's next for me. And I don't know what doors it's going to open, but I know I'm going to enjoy it.
Oh, I love that. And honestly, if you didn't say that, like I would just have thought you were a fantastic speaker, right? Because a lot of time it's just our own perception. We are pretty hard on ourselves, and everybody else is like, "No, you're awesome." Right? Once in a while, people will say, "Yeah, don't wear that," or don't say that, right?
You're making it easy because you're prompting us with questions, but I'm worried about, okay, get on stage and present your story. Like, can I do beginning, middle, end and stay on track and not get distracted and make sense? Like, I have no idea.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you guys are all incredible. And with, a few minutes left, I would love to just go around and for each of you guys to share your last words of wisdom with the audience, and then we'll close out for the session today. So why don't we start with Yolanda?
Well, make sure that your clothes fit, ladies. Make sure your clothes fit. If the seam is screaming, it doesn't fit. If you're pulling and tugging on your clothes, the clothes don't fit. Just buy the size larger and keep it moving.
Awesome. Wen, and then Gail?
That's the wisdom. Yeah, this is one I learned that confidence is actually not a prerequisite for me or any of us or you to do anything. It is actually the results of taking actions. So I feel that I learned after I started my own business, and it's 100% true for me. So I want to share that with you. And the other quick tip is, if you are thinking about being a woman in business, always double what you think you dare to charge for your service. That's all.
I love that. That's so good. Okay. Gail.
I would say that self-confidence comes from within, and it's up to us to be able to bring that forward. With that, always say these 3 words when you have that challenge every day. You are enough. I say those words every time I feel like an imposter. And just saying those words as a mantra are powerful. So those are my 3 words to leave with all of you. You are enough.
You are enough. I love that. Okay. Write it down. Write it down. Karen, how about you?
Oh, I don't know if I have a little word of wisdom, but I feel that anyone in business or anyone who wants to grow in life, I think one of the question was, what do you wish that you realized sooner? And that is what my natural talents are. I really firmly believe that everybody on this planet has unique talents. And some of them, the ones that come easily to you, are probably sent from above, from a higher power. And that I never realized. I always took it for granted or felt other people could do it. But now I realize that my talents are what makes me special, and everybody has their little part in the world. So that's what I have learned.
I love that. That's actually a segue into what I was going to share. I was going to say, play in your zone of genius. Right?
See, that's what I should have said.
But, I think in the beginning, you try to be a chameleon, you try to be a generalist, but really each of us have our own zone of genius. So you just have to stay in your lane and let someone else be really good at zone genius, and just find your partner, and then really be surrounded by, I would say, a group of people that have growth mindset, because if you surround yourself with that, you can always be growing because your surrounding is that, right? And I would say make sure they're also like positive, because that's also important. I know I get affected when I'm around like just positive, because it lifts me up, versus the other way can go the other way too, right? So just be mindful of your surrounding and how you're distributing your time. So,
very good.
Yes. And I just want to mention, Yolanda actually brought this up during our rehearsal. She was saying look at this diverse group of people that are here today, right? So kudos to Tam and her team, and Sheena.
I know.
Look at this. Like, not only beautiful, that part is consistent. That's our common ground. There's no diversity there. But in every other spectrum, diversity in terms of our profession, our background. And so it's really such a collective that's coming for this collaboration. So hopefully you guys find this to be useful, and please share with other people. This video will be live for a long time, so please share. We would love more people to know about our story. And thank you again, Christine, Yolanda, Karen, Gail, and Wen, for just joining us and stepping up to share your story today.
Very good. Thanks, Amanda.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And go buy a book.
Bye.
Buy a book. Before we start,
Everyone on the road.
Yes, get on the road. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Amanda.
you.
Bye.
Bye.